In this video, I'm going to show you how I stop my slice by fixing my turn. I struggled with a slice for 3 years and I could not figure out what was going on. So this is video 11 of a 19 video series on step-by-step everything I did to stop my slice. And so this video relates to the turn, because if you don't get a good quality turn, and I'll show you exactly why, you are 100% going to slice this golf ball. And I'm going to show you how you can swing more from the inside with a proper turn and the natural motion of the body, like this. So if you get an improper turn in the golf swing, what's going to happen is you're not going to turn around your body. You're not going to look like this at the top of the swing with your arms low. You're going to tilt your shoulders at the ball, and we're going to get to that, which is a very bad piece of golf advice, is to turn your shoulders at the ball, because your arms can raise and your hands go super high. There's a correct way you want to turn in the swing that's going to have you not slicing the golf ball and also not hooking it. There's a good balance in between where you hit nice quality golf shots. And I'll show you that just with this club and with a hula hoop. So with this club here, you can put it, when you're standing straight up and down, just put it parallel to the ground. And then however much you bend over, like this, if I'm this bent over to hit the ground, here you want to turn along that. So if I'm this bent over, I want to turn along that line out there. So you always want your shoulders, however much you bend over, if you can imagine that line out there. So it's not at the ball, you're turning your shoulders at that line out there the whole time. So my left shoulder on the backswing is tracing this line parallel to the target line, like this. And then on the way down, boom, my right shoulder is now on the line, and I'm gonna trace it back to that line out there. So what you're doing is you're turning perpendicular to your spine. Now, if you turn your shoulders at the ball, the club raises. And so that's what we want to prevent in the swing, is this club going up here. We want the club to stay low. So if you did what I did when I started golf, and you actually turn your shoulders at the ball, like you heard on YouTube Golf Instruction, turn your shoulders at the ball, and then you're practicing pointing your shoulders at the ball, that's a slice, guys. That's a slice. You want to be pointing your shoulders however much you're bent over. And you can also see this with the hula hoop. And once I show you this with the hula hoop, I'm going to show you exactly how you can turn correctly and how 95+% of people that watch this video are going to mess it up. And that's not turning your hips enough, and how we can fix that. So I dropped the club, and with that 7-iron, this hula hoop would look about like this. So if I turn my shoulders at the ball, look what's happening. The hula hoop isn't maintaining how it looks. It's swing plane. It's tilting down, and that tilting down is a slice, because your arms are going to go high instead of going around you. If you turn correctly, if you maintain how the hula hoop looks, your hands stay low, and if your hands stay low and then you just turn through, look, the club runs into the ball and comes from the inside. But if your hands are up here and I do that same turn, oh, now I'm coming over the top. It's just the top of the backswing position. You want your arms lower, because it's going to be really hard to slice a golf ball with low hands at the top of the swing. So how can we turn correctly to not slice a golf ball? So real quick, you have to understand how to turn from a flat position. So just try to turn flat without tilting your shoulders down, and try to get a full turn. So flat. So now let's try to do the same thing where we bend our knees. So 7-iron, I go down to the ball. So my knees were about this much bent when I was setting up to it. Now again, let's try to turn flat. Oh my gosh, I'm hitting a wall. Why is that? Well, when we were standing straight up and down, it was really easy for us to turn our hips. And so if I don't turn my hips fully, my upper body can't go. And now when I fully turn my lower body, now I can fully turn my hips. And now when I fully turn my lower body, I can now get a full turn with my upper body. And that is how we're going to maintain our swing plane, is you need to fully turn your hips to have a correct upper body movement. Because if I don't turn my hips enough, I can get a full turn if I turn my shoulders down. And that is that incorrect hula hoop that y'all saw where your arms raise and you slice the golf ball. So the biggest culprit is going to be the hips. So this is what we're going to do. It's going to be a combination of getting your weight a little bit more forward when you're setting up the ball, making sure they're not open, they're closed, because if your hips are open when you're setting up to the ball, you're going to shift. You want to preset that turn. So weight forward, preset the turn a little bit. Now actually what this is doing is you're just making sure you have square hips when you're setting up to the ball, because if I put my weight forward a little bit, my hips are probably going to open. And so now when I feel like I twist to the right, now look, they're square to that line. And that's going to help you open them on the backswing, where you can turn your upper body in instead of going up like this. So you don't sway, you get a nice good turn over the ball around you, not up, but around you. But again, let's go back to this exercise. So I can't turn fully with my knees a little bit bent because it's harder to turn with my foot flat like this. So a really good piece of advice for a lot of you, because we're seeing, man, I suddenly can't get a full turn. You need to turn that foot out a little bit so you can open up those hips and you don't keep slicing the golf ball. So foot straight out, can't turn. I'm gonna open it a little bit more. Still can't get a full turn. Right here, oh, there we go. I just unlocked the treasure key to a very consistent golf swing. Oh my gosh, now with a little bit more bent knees, I can still get a full turn. And so now that we can do that going flat, we want to do that while also tilting down. That was the turning part, but you need to tilt down, because if you just get here and only turn flat, that's a hook. So I don't want you to go from slicing the ball to hooking the ball. So turn out that foot enough to where your hips can open on the backswing. Weight forward, hips square, foot out, turn in on the backswing. So you're here, your weight's a little bit forward, you square those hips, you open this foot out, and then you turn in. And that is how I fixed my turn in the golf swing. Is I was setting up like this and I wasn't turning the hips enough. So this is, I can't turn anymore unless I put my shoulders down, which was the incorrect way that y'all have seen. So what I need to do to help me with my turn is get centered, which feels like I'm putting my weight forward. Make sure my hips are square, and then have this foot flared out enough to where I can swing around me, get a full hip turn, so that that line out there, I can trace it all the way back and through. Because if this foot is square here, I'm stuck right here and I have to turn down, and now my hand's pointing here instead of on that line. And then my hands go up and then it's a slice. So we want to turn around us like this, and that's going to prevent your slice. So that is step 11 that I took to stop my slice. This is the 11th video of a 19 video series on everything I did to stop my slice. So if you've made it this far in the video, I'd highly recommend you watch the other 18 videos in this series to stop your slice. What you learn in this video are a part of fundamentals 2 and 3 of the single plane swing method that I teach. Fundamental 2 was turning correctly, which I saw how to do that. And fundamental 3 was keeping your weight centered and not swing over the ball. And that was the weight forward part. As you can see this line, I'm staying right over the line. And that's how you get those consistent iron shots, is you're not shifting off the ball. You're staying over the ball, forward and centered, to hit those good golf shots. And there are 4 fundamentals, and you can go learn those at manningolf.com in the description of this video, so go check that out. If this video helped you in any way, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing, as that would really help me out. But again, I hope you found some helpful tips, and I hope the rest of your day goes well.